At Central Station, 3 are apprehended on the tracks, playing chicken with the oncoming A train. The eldest of them is 12 years old, and tomorrow night, they'll do it again. 24 Gotham children have died playing this game in the decades since the Metro was built. In the streets of the Bowery, 6 dogs have been re-released. They were retrieved from the pound by locals who claimed them as their pets. These are vicious, wild dogs who roam like wolves, killing cats and terrorizing pensioners. But the Bowery has always had wild dogs, and the people of this city fear seeing it changing around them. A building burns in Cherry Hill. At least this one was already abandoned. An insurance fraud, or just more kids. 3 years of stalking her streets at night have taught me there are heinous things in Gotham I can do nothing about. I cannot save people from themselves. Instead, I grit my teeth against the pitch-black tumult of her chaos. And wait for a light to cut through the dark.
Well, Lieutenant Gordon, I can tell you it definitely hurt. The killer pinpointed every major nerve cluster in the body without spilling a drop of blood, keeping him alive as he played his body as an orchestra of agony.
We need something new. Anything to tie this Vic to the previous 2. Who's this?
Oh! The Batman! I knew we'd cross paths eventually on one of these off-the-books moonlight sojourns.
Dr. Sarika's a forensic pathologist who's just opened a lab at Gotham U. He's been extremely helpful in IDing causes of death in the worst-for-wear bodies that have come across the GCPD's desk. I thought it could be of use to us in this case.
Corpses tell a story, the wear and tear of a life, bone fractures, wound patterns. From what I read of your lifestyle, I hope I won't see you on a slab too soon. Though I'm sure your bones and flesh hold a myriad of fascinating tales by now.
From the state of the apartment, he is like the other 2. Single, living alone. But other than that, they couldn't be more different. Francis Oakley was a high-flying lawyer, until 2 nights ago. Kenneth Armitage was retired, living in near poverty, until our perp got a hold of him last night.
It would appear Mr. Choi here fell somewhere in between. It's magnificent work, you know.
He removed their tongues and teeth first, so they couldn't scream.
I meant from a professional perspective, the cleanness. Whoever your killer is, he's had plenty of medical training.
Obviously. Gordon, outside. I don't trust him. He's odd, I'll admit, but he's good at what he does. The drooling and the way his eyes dart around the room, consistent with abuse of phencyclidine or formaldehyde. Lord, you think Sarika's getting high on embalming fluid? Look, Gotham's last coroner quit over a year ago, when the Joker sent him a bouquet of flowers with a "To My Favorite Collaborator" card. Dr. Sarika's family are from old Gotham, going back generations. Even if he did leave Florida under slightly, unclear conditions. He's what we've got, and we're lucky to have anything at all. Where are you going? 3 bodies, enough to make a pattern. There will be something to find. Something to lead me to the next target before the killer. The majority of serial killers know their first victim. That makes Oakley, the lawyer tortured to death at his desk 2 nights ago, the key to all this. His office has refused to make his private files available to the GCPD, citing sensitive materials. So I retrieved them myself.
Who's there?
Private security.
Freeze!
I don't particularly think it's going to be a problem. Until they keep coming. And keep coming. Ugh! Who pays for this much security to protect a lawyer after they're dead?
Ah! Ah!
File it away for later. First, escape. They have not come to play.
Ah! 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 If you would allow, Master Bruce, I might assist in stitching that bullet wound at the very least.
Hurts less when I do it myself. They're all in here, Alfred. Francis Oakley had recently been taking on pro bono cases.
An altruistic lawyer. Pity no one told his security firm about his bleeding heart before they shot you.
Hardly. Before that, it's all corporate clients. Ace Chemicals, the Iceberg Lounge, even a few LexCorp subsidiaries.
So, he'd gotten fat representing the fattest of the fat cats, then tried to work off his guilt.
The man who died tonight was prosecuted a few years ago, accused in the deaths of his elderly parents, and quickly cleared with Oakley's help.
Could these be revenge killings of some kind?
Choi didn't do it. The wiring in their carbon monoxide alarm was faulty. The man who died last night lost a lawsuit against the city after a bridge collapsed while his wife drove his daughter's home across it. Oakley represented the city. One a night, men who lost their families, who were left alone in the world by tragedies.
You are aware there's still a bullet shot inside that wound you're stitching? Master Bruce, I'm afraid I must insist.
There's a half-dozen more men in these files who meet the same criteria.
You think they're all targets? How will you know who's next?
Armitage, Choi. He's simply working through them alphabetically.
Ugh! Sorry, almost done. So then, who's on the list for tomorrow night?
The signal has been lit since sundown. No doubt Gordon wants to know exactly what I thought I was doing at the law office last night. But I cannot leave my post. Michael Gallo is a petty thief, or he was until a year ago, when he made the mistake of robbing the home of a made man affiliated with the Falcones. No police report was filed, of course. The crime families conduct their own investigations. A week later, Gallo's wife was found floating in Gotham Bay. He got the message, and has been working as a janitor ever since. He refused to get involved in a class action case built against the Falcones. I bugged his apartment while he was at work. Inside felt like a shrine to the dead woman. He's been sobbing since he returned home an hour ago. But now, footsteps. Mr. Gallo.
Who's there? What are you doing in my apartment?
It is so lonely, isn't it?
Oh God, what are you?
Every night you cry, and the wounds never close. The gaping holes they leave behind. I wait and let him speak. I can give you what I could never have, what they took away from me. He won't speak so freely after he's apprehended. Who are they?
Get away from me!
They took it away from me, but you can have so very much of it. I wait and let him speak.
I said, get away!
I wait until I cannot. Did that hurt? Did that hurt? He's no fighter. His stance is non-existent. His hands low. I aim for his solar plexus to shut this down before it even starts. And then I realize those are nails I'm about to drive through his throat. And if I strike his chest, the spikes in his flesh are in danger of rupturing his heart or lungs. Even those in his arms and legs seem purposefully adjacent to the major arteries. His flesh is a tapestry of near-fatal self-mutilation. I can't hit him without killing him. But he can hit me. And he does. Ah! He shouldn't be this strong. He should be in agony. It's like he doesn't feel it. He doesn't feel it. I need to use the belt. There must be something, some way to stop him from hitting me. But apparently, Gallo has been prepared in case the Falcons ever come back for him. The shot is wild. It goes safely wide. But it's still a shotgun fired in a living room. By the time I can see and hear again, the killer is gone. You idiot! He shouldn't be that fast.
What the hell did that thing want?
To torture you to death.
What? Why? What is he? What are you looking for, Master Wayne? It's somewhere in one of these, my father's old medical books. If I remember right, it first appeared in medieval manuscripts going back to the 14th century. It was intended as a map of pain, a portrait of every agony that could be inflicted on the human body. Sounds somewhat abominable. It wasn't meant for harm. It was intended as an index to cure people of their suffering. Here it is. This is what attacked me tonight. The Wound Man. He thinks he's healing his victims in some way. And tomorrow night, he will kill again.
So, you know who he is? Not yet. But, you know who he's going after next. You say there's a list. We need to get all the targets into protective custody. Then we don't know what the Wound Man will do next. We need to draw him out while we can still predict his actions. Dr. Sarika is examining the bodies at his lab at the university. He's confident he can draw out clues to this sicko's identity. The fool pathologist with the formaldehyde habit. You can't trust his work, Gordon. Even if he was any good, it would take too long. I'm not risking citizens' lives! Neither am I. I'll be there. I'm prepared. That's not good enough! Did you pull the records I asked for? The private security you demolished at the Smith & Oakley law firm are being paid for by Ace Chemicals. S&O have represented them in a number of suits over decades. They're protecting their corporate interests. Maybe. Or they're covering something up. There is another fire tonight in Gotham City. Smoke rises somewhere in the vicinity of Gotham General Hospital. In Newtown, someone has been taping razor blades under car door handles, seemingly at random. Over the police scanner, 2 officers celebrate the capture of the thief who's been stealing pets in the Narrows. They found him stitching the wings of a pigeon onto a labradoodle, trying to create an animal that could survive the Gotham streets. And I am standing on a rooftop, watching a man attempt to drink himself to death. The Wound Man's first victim, the lawyer Francis Oakley, helped convict Randall Jones for assault after Jones strangled a coworker at his stock exchange Christmas party. The woman survived, but Jones's wife and daughters, understandably, were not waiting for him when he was released from Blackgate Penitentiary. Jones lives alone, wearing a groove in the tarmac between his apartment and this bar across the street. He's next on the list the Wound Man took from Oakley's office. He's the first one who would possibly deserve it. It hurts, doesn't it, Randall Jones? Every night you cry, and the wounds never close. Let me feel it with you. I know what you're doing, what you think you're doing. I know you think you're helping these men, taking away their loneliness. You think you're a healer. You're not. It ends now. You know as well as I do that you could die if I hit you. Don't make me hurt you. Hurt me! Please! Please hurt me! Stop it! Hurt me! There's nowhere to seize him without damaging something vital. I didn't want it to come to this. TV and comic books have misled people about knockout toxins. It's never as easy as a rag over the mouth or a dart from a rifle that puts the victim to sleep in seconds. It's far riskier than that. A dosage of chloroform, or BZ, needs to be carefully calibrated to the subject's body weight and lung capacity. A slight miscalculation, and... damn it, the risk of death from a seizure or heart failure is significant. I had to eyeball estimate the dosage. I didn't want it to come to this. I'm getting you to the hospital. Stay with me. Move! This damn city. Can you hear me? We're almost at the hospital. It doesn't hurt. It still doesn't hurt. Listen! Does Ace Chemicals mean anything to you? Still doesn't hurt. Oh, for hell's sake! There is another fire tonight in Gotham City. It isn't in the vicinity of Gotham General Hospital. It is the hospital itself that burns. I need to take him somewhere else. Somewhere close, with medical equipment. Dr. Sarika, save this man's life!
Golly, you know, usually I only deal with bodies after they're dead.
Can you do it?
Let's hope so. He's in cardiac arrest. You hit him with something nasty, yes? Massage his heart, if you can, without those fetching spikes piercing it while you're at it. He's going to need an injection of adrenaline. At least we can assume our friend is not squeamish about needles. His heart appears to be beating, so that's a start. We mustn't move him until he's stable. Where are you going?
Call Gordon. Tell him what happened here. We need to question him as soon as he wakes up. To find out who made him. And why.
How's it going, Frankie? Never a dull moment, huh? I've still got 1,000 words of turgid crap to knock out by the morning edition, so I figured enough caffeine and sugar to make me throw up and or die was in order. Anyway, good talk. Stay vigilant for us. It's crazy out there.
Nikki Harris.
Oh, the Batman of Gotham. It's been a minute since you came to me for info on that killer croc in the sewers case. Heard you caught him. Bravo. So, finally read my article on you.
You claimed I was a vampire from Eastern Europe. You're fomenting fear in this town for a cent a word.
Fear? This city is built on a foundation of myth. All these scared people who come from all over the world seeking the promised land of prosperity, they get to Gotham to find no jobs, inflation through the roof, and a clown trying to poison the water supply. No wonder we cling to old stories from our old lands. They make more sense than life in Gotham. The people of Gotham pray for superstitions to save them. No one else has.
2 years ago, you attempted an expose on Ace Chemicals. Then you ended up fired from the Gazette, milling out conspiracy theories for the tabloids.
Well, big boys of pharmaceuticals got wind and sicked their lawyers on me hard and fast.
Ruined me in a matter of days. Not that I'd found too much to begin with. You've realized they're very good at scrubbing their prints from any kind of public record. Otherwise, you'd be talking to the cops rather than me. A lot of skeletons in those vanished closets. Any particular bones you're looking for?
Anesthetics or nerve agents, perhaps.
Nothing you'll find in any modern database, though I'm guessing you've checked. Always harder to scrub old paper files, though, particularly ones that have already fallen into unauthorized hands.
Creoxin.
A liquid ACHE inhibitor they were developing on a government contract. One that disappeared from all records without a trace a decade and a half ago. That document is the only evidence I found that it ever existed.
Something went wrong. They made a monster.
Maybe. Or maybe it was just so nasty it violated the Geneva Conventions. That can spook even Uncle Sam. Sometimes.
So what happened to it? The chemical itself?
No one knows, but I might have a theory. Have you ever heard of the town without screams?
Ah, you're awake. Batman asked me to notify the police that you were here, but you're a doctor, aren't you? It's apparent from the wounds you inflict. So I figured, what if I took the opportunity to speak to you first? Doctor to doctor. I'd love to understand you. This, what you've done to yourself, it's remarkable. My guess, it was an attempt to channel the pain you can no longer feel. The suffering building up inside you needed an outlet. It didn't work. There's a reason they say doctors make the worst patients. We like to think we're always objective, even when it comes to ourselves. But that's not the truth. When we're suffering, instinct takes over. Just like everyone else. We panic. We want it to stop. We lunge after solving the symptoms. Grasp at anything we think might help. We forget that to cure, we need to get to the root cause of the malady. The root cause.
Gordon, is the wound man awake?
What are you talking about? You found him?
Sarika, that fool! He was meant to call you!
You left that maniac alone with the pathologist?
Long story. He's cuffed. He's unconscious.
I'll send a team to collect him. I'm about to walk into an emergency meeting with the mayor. At least I can give him good news.
I was right. Ace Chemicals created the wound man. They might have created more.
You have proof?
I'm working on it.
Where are you?
Heading out of town.
Commissioner Gordon!
Mr. Mayor, listen, I know this murder case got, complicated, but the suspect has been apprehended. He's at the pathology lab in Gotham University.
Commissioner, that's wonderful news. I was just about to introduce you to a concerned citizen, an old associate of mine. We were discussing how it may be prudent to close this case in a way that's clean and quiet for all of us. Commissioner, fantastic work. My name is Christopher Sionis, CEO and senior partner at Axis Corp. You may have heard of some of the subsidiaries that we operate in Gotham. Janus Cosmetics and
Ace Chemicals.
You've heard of us.
Upstate Gotham, insulated from the sickness of the city by the miles of road. I find little cause to visit here often. A place where good living and moderate wealth are taken for granted. where suburban happiness is promised and purportedly found. But not here, it would seem. Not in the planned community of green fields, which last year the tabloids dubbed the town without screams. A few page 8 stories of abnormalities which were refuted and died on the vine. A few calls for help which went ignored. Now the people of Gotham call for superstitions to save them. No one else has.
Hello? Is someone out there? Who's there?
Take him.
Stop it! You can't! Ah!
Take him!
Please! God! It hurts! Please, just make it stop!
Describe it. I can barely remember what it feels like, thanks to you.
I'm just a lawyer.
Yes, with your cease and desists, gag orders, injunctions, and intimidations. You contained what they did to us. You let it happen. I thought what pain you must be in, what sickness you must have in your soul to sleep at night. I thought perhaps I could purge it from you. I can't purge it from myself anymore.
You think you're the only one to have suffered? Every file in those cabinets right there, every case is a catalog of human misery and misfortune. It's not my fault. I don't deserve this. Everyone suffers. It's the human condition.
Yes, you're right. I can help them too. Now, hold still. I'm a doctor. It all started with the lawyer. Francis Oakley was his first victim, and from his files, it's easy to see why. Dr. Jessup Hartnell had been reaching out to everyone he could. The city, law firms, old colleagues, other doctors, medical centers. Oakley blocked him at every turn. He did so on behalf of his clients. The people who had poisoned Hartnell had poisoned this entire town. Who drove him to become a monster. Gordon, I found what happened here. Who the Wound Man is. Decades ago, Ace Chemicals bought an acre of land upstate. They used it to dump chemical waste. Cryoxin, an experimental nerve agent. They then sold the land to the Gotham City Council for cheap. The council built a town here. Green fields, a suburban paradise. Except the cryoxin never went away. It's in the drinking water, the swimming pools, leaking out of the ground, poisoning them. Gordon, are you there? The connection is poor.
Wound Man! Taken! It was Ace! Certain of it!
Damn it. I'm coming back to the city. We'll reveal to the world what Ace has covered up here.
No, you won't.
I'm here to help. Get out of my way.
We've seen you on TV. We know who you are. You're trying to ruin everything, just like Hartnell did.
Your leg. When did that happen? It hasn't healed properly. You shouldn't be able to use it. And you're missing fingers. A culinary incident. Did you even notice you were cutting into your own flesh? It's all of you. This whole town. You don't feel anything anymore.
We're blessed. We don't suffer anymore. We live in a beautiful place and don't ever feel sick or tired. Before we scraped enough together to buy our house here, I lived in the Narrows. I had to carry my kid's stroller over unconscious junkies to get to the elevator in our building. If you expose us, they'll make us leave. They'll send us back to that. Or they'll take us away, experiment on us.
You need help. You don't know what's happened to you, what it's still doing to your bodies. Get out of my way.
We don't feel anything anymore. Bet you do.
Human brains have natural failsafes. They stop us from using the full capability of the body, from pushing our muscles to the point they can shatter our bones. In extreme circumstances, these fail-safes can be overridden. It's what allows a distraught mother to lift a car off their child after an accident. The cryoxin in their systems is overriding those same fail-safes for the people of Greenfields. They don't know how to fight. It doesn't matter. I don't think they intend to kill me, but they don't know when to stop. They can't feel it, the damage they're doing. I can, right up until I can't. I black out just for a second, and when I come to, everything's changed.
You're a kindergarten teacher, Paul. What the hell do you think you're doing?
Alice, he was going to...
like Dr. Hartnell, and look what's happened to him since we all refused to back up his allegations. Look what happened to his wife. It's too much. It has to end, or you're going to beat me half to death too.
Well...
Can you stand?
Of course.
Let me help you.
You're the one who painted the wound man on the side of the surgery.
He's a good man. We failed him. But even so, wherever he's gone, I'm sure he's doing whatever he can to bring us help.
He's in Gotham, likely headed for a cell in Arkham Asylum. He murdered 3 people.
Oh God, why?
Pain is our warning system. It's what tells us when we've gone too far. You mentioned his wife. Tell me what happened.
It wasn't easy even tying you to that chair. All those studs and spikes must get in the way. I don't know how you deal with it. I'll stick to Gucci, I think. I remember who you are under all that. Do you, Dr. Hartnell? You were a bit of a headache for us. Cost us a fortune in Oakley's fees. All those outlandish accusations you made. I don't know what brought you from that to this, but I think it's high time it all went away. On the plus side, you've made it nice and easy for us, haven't you? All of these adjacent to such major organs. All I have to do is remove one, and there we go. No pain, no fuss. Just bleeding.
Christopher Sionis, you are the root cause! The root cause of the malady!
That's not... Kill him!
I'm afraid this is going to hurt.
They beat Dr. Sarika with something. A nightstick or a bat. A nasty concussion. And his arm's broken in 2 places.
Sounds like the same security forces I encountered in Oakley's office. Why the hell did you tell them where the wound man was?
It was the mayor.
He's in bed with Christopher Sionis.
Sionis.
The CEO of the conglomerate of which Ace is a key cornerstone.
The mayor doesn't want a scandal with Green Fields either. He was head of the Gotham City Council when the deal was made for the land. Wound Man was never officially in custody. They'll play this off as an escape, a rescue.
I'll never allow it!
You can't prove otherwise. Not in a way that would hold up in court.
You're going to go after Sionis, aren't you? Let me call for backup and... you're gone, aren't you?
In Burnside, a young couple have reported a man looking in the window of their 6th-floor apartment, using eyes on his hands. In the Narrows, a newborn is found in a dumpster, the 6th child this year. And in Northwest Cherry Hill, 2 sounds like gunshots have been reported. Not enough for the Stretch GCPD to investigate. Cherry Hill is where the privileged and powerful keep second homes for when they wish to escape the hubbub of Midtown. Privileged and powerful people like Christopher Sionis. Hartnell. Damn it. You've lost a lot of blood.
Root cause. Almost cured it.
Sionis.
You're the Batman. Thank God you're here. He broke in here and tried to tie me up and kill me. Lucky my security, rest their souls, were able to rescue me in time, and in our struggle, one of those spikes in him came loose. I locked myself upstairs until I heard your voice, waited him out.
That's not what happened, Sionis. None of it.
Sure it is, and everyone will believe me. That's 5 people he's killed now.
Did you know about his wife?
Who?
Her name was Amber. Hartnell was working late, reaching out to whoever he could, trying to get the word out about Green Fields. She fell asleep in front of the TV. They didn't feel the cold anymore, but she had the fireplace blazing. Habit. An ember escaped the grate and landed on the rug. She wouldn't have felt the heat either. She wouldn't have felt it as the flames reached her skin. She probably slept through the fat in her body beginning to melt, the cartilage boiling in her bones, cracking them. And then he came home and tried desperately to make himself feel something. Anything. That's what Ace did to him. What you did to him.
There's no proof of any of that, and soon enough, this will all be forgotten by everyone. Terrible things happen in Gotham every day. The truth is, no one wants to remember the pain, the unpleasantness, so they don't. What are you doing?
The shoulder is a very complex body part. It contains the brachial plexus, a network of nerves that connects the arm to the neck and spine.
Oh, what are you...
It's why even minor shoulder injuries don't always heal right.
Oh! Ah! Ah!
Gordon, I'm sending you an address. 2 assailants, KIA. 2 ambulances needed for the survivors. There is another fire in Gotham tonight. It burns on the shoulder of Christopher Sionis. It will burn for the rest of his long, privileged life. And with every twinge, he will remember why.
Dr. Sarika's examined the body. Officer Peterson's wrists and neck showed elevated histamine levels, but there were none around the impact wounds from the ground.
He was strung up like a puppet when he was still alive, but he was dead by the time he went out the window. Bleeding Towers is scheduled for demolition. Roughly half the residents have refused to go, despite the generous resettlement packages they were offered by the city.
They've lived on this block for generations. They don't want their homes being torn down to be replaced by luxury condos. Understandable.
But now they're killing cops!
So go in, arrest those responsible.
Thing is, Peterson didn't go in alone.
They have a hostage.
His partner, Bryce. The entrance is barricaded from the inside. The message is clear: no cops. If we do try and go in, we risk starting a war. Good people live there too, but Bleeding has long been a hive of gang activity, and they have the high ground.
There's an open window on the 5th floor.
Well, the boss says... Did you hear me? I said the boss says if we gotta wait much later, he's gonna escalate things.
Escalate things? Damn, man. Bleeding Towers was designed as public housing post-war.
He already threw one cop out the damn window.
Now it stands as a relic of an age where it seemed as though those down on their luck might actually be provided for by the state. It consists of 215 apartments over 12 floors. The missing cop might be held in any of them.
Yeah, well, I heard pigs have wings. Maybe the second one will fly.
The quickest way to find her will be to put the fear of God in those who took her. Where is she?
Did you hear that? Oh no, it's the bat! I don't think he sees us.
Dumbass, this is Bleeding Towers.
You don't know this place. You don't know how it works.
It's the architecture. Bounces sound around. Things seem like they're coming from somewhere. They are not. I keep out of it all, but I don't want to go neither.
Where did they take her?
Dunno. Maybe listen for her, and you'll hear her. Not right, though. Taking the cop. But that don't mean you'll find her easy, either.
Oh God, I'm so sick of that sound. You fucked up tying the gag, didn't you? Idiot. The one thing I asked you to do, and I can still hear her whining through it.
Please, Rickson, I can't hear anything. I think she's asleep.
What the hell did you just say to me, Michelle?
Sweetheart, please.
Did you just call me crazy? Everything I do for you, and you disrespect me in my own home!
Honey, I didn't mean to.
I know, baby, but you never think, do you? You're just a very stupid woman who doesn't deserve love.
Rickson, the Batman is here.
The what?
You gotta tell the boss. He needs to know.
Yeah. Well, don't you worry. The boss is right here. He can hear everything.
And I'm not happy one bit.
Dr. Sarika, I need more information. Are you sober?
Is this who I think it is?
Yes.
I'm suddenly feeling very sober indeed.
Bleeding Towers. I'm having difficulty navigating it. Tell me about the body, beyond the obvious.
You want to know about the impact wounds, whether I can tell you how high this poor soul fell from, which floor. The thing is, terminal velocity height for the human body is generally lower than people expect. We can see the same damage in a body that's fallen 30 feet as a body that's fallen out of an airplane. Having said that, there's evidence of multiple post-mortem impacts, if you understand what I mean. He bounced. So, assuming they're holding his partner in the same place, they threw him from, I'd say you could rule out the lower 5 floors. Guess that means I'm going up. End of the line, Gatman.
Wesker. It sounds like Albert Wesker, a meek ventriloquist who had a breakdown and began manifesting a violent personality through his mannequin, a gangster puppet he called Scarface. I prevented him from committing a triple homicide by smashing the doll, inducing a panic attack. But this man... You're not Wesker. Speak! Who are you?
Catman, did you think you could stop me again by destroying my body? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to show them we mean business. What are they doing? Look out! My God! I have a new goodie now, Gutman. A ghetto one. And you're standing in it. Welcome to Scarface Towers. A cat? He's dressed as a damned cat! Why can't I hit you?
Because you're not a marksman, Wesker. You're a maniac with a puppet.
Get off me, cat freak!
No, Scarface! What have you done to the boss?
I'll return, Catman. I'll return, getter than ever. After Batman brought him in, Arnold Wesker attributed all his crimes to his ventriloquist dummy. He convinced his psychiatrist the Scarface side of his personality was entirely erased when the doll was destroyed. He received early release from Arkham 6 months ago. Further proof that Arkham psychiatry reports are best utilized as toilet paper.
What are our orders, Commissioner Gordon?
Officer Price is still being held inside. The hostage takers have significant firepower and the high ground. Any attempt at a frontal assault is going to result in a bloody shootout, and will all but guarantee they execute the hostage.
So what? Just sit on our asses and wait?
The Batman's inside. He knows what he's doing. Kill the Catman. You think you can hide from me, Catman? Well, inside my body, you've invaded me like a cancer cell. The kind the body deals with every day. It finds them and destroys them. That's all you are in here, Catman.
Move! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are your parents here?
Blimey.
It's okay. I won't hurt you.
You're the one on the TV, running around on roofs dressed like that, helping people. I guess it looks scary if you see it in the dark. Just looks uncomfortable from here.
You're sick. You can't stay here. The tower's under siege. You need medicine.
You tell that to the doctor. Says there's nothing wrong with me, even though I've been throwing up and can't walk straight for months now, ever since that brouhaha started out there. Flora, we have a guest. Iced tea, please.
Scarface. You've heard him before.
Heard him? Ha! All night that racket for months, telling us we're safe in his body, that he's not gonna let them take the block away. And the worst of it, all them out there, they've been listening to him. They think he's the spirit of Bleeding Towers or something. Dunno why they think the spirit of the building would sound like a bad Al Capone impression.
A acousmatic sound.
Huh?
A sound where the hearer can't see the source. It can hold power, psychologically. We have a tendency to ascribe meaning to it, spiritual weight. Moses hearing the voice of God in the desert. The ancient Greeks thought every cave had the voice of the lost nymph Echo.
Why are we talking about Greeks?
It's said Pythagoras lectured on philosophy from behind a veil to make his arguments more powerful.
Like the Wizard of Oz?
Thank you. Yes, like the Wizard of Oz.
Rickson, are you all right?
Michelle, what are you doing here? I told you to stay put!
I'm sorry, Rickson. I heard you might be hurt.
Off me! Get back to the apartment, idiot. All you're meant to be doing is guarding the hostage, and you can't even get that right! What are you all standing around for? The boss told you to find Batman, didn't he? So we're gonna knock on every door! The people who live in this tower are already under extreme stress. Those urban myths, believing the voices of those who've lived and died here still echo down the halls. Scared they're going to lose their histories. Then a new voice arrives, loud as thunder, telling them it will protect them if they do what it says. Arnold Wesker found this place, a melting pot of desperation and just enough belief to buy into his Scarface delusion.
They're not urban myths. I've heard my dad crouching down these halls almost every Thanksgiving that I'm still trying out the turkey. Trust me, I ain't hearing it 'cause I want to. And if you're wrong about that, what if you're wrong about the rest of it? They're looking for you, ain't they? I think it might be time for you to go. Window might be best.
Gordon. Batman, what's going on? Arnold Wesker? He's taken over the entire building, got its residents hanging on his every word. We have to regroup. You can't fight an entire building of people. I won't have to. If Wesker thinks the building is Scarface, and that he's the one thinking for his boss, there's only one place it makes sense for him to be. Wesker's got to be in the brain. I make that the 12th floor. I'm going in to lobotomize Scarface.
Ugh! He's here! Batman's climbing up the boss's face!
Damn it. Ugh! Ugh! Which floor is this?
Boss! He's here on the 9th floor!
9th. Okay, 3 to go.
You think smoke will affect me, Catman? I've been smoking the finest Cuban cigar since before you were born.
Well, this is white phosphorus. Pyrophoric. It burns the air.
Ah!
And I figure some of the fire alarms in this building must still work.
What are you waiting for? Kill!
10th.
What's going on down there? Boss, I can't hear you. Ah! Ugh.
11th. 12th floor. Wesker, prison, now.
Fuck. Oh.
Your tongue. Someone cut out your tongue. Who did this to you, Wesker?
Gosh. Vixen, for hell's sake, let me in! The bat's causing chaos out there. Set off the alarm so we can't hear the boss. You just ain't getting listening, Vixen. Boss, and you've outlived your usefulness.
Scarface, please.
Don't be scared, sweetheart. What are you talking about, boss? Just as we discussed.
Wesker, Scarface is a symptom of something much like dissociative identity disorder. He's your ID, manifesting itself externally. And going by this wound pattern, I don't think you did this to yourself. You taught someone else, didn't you? Did you find someone like you, who you wanted to help? Someone you thought needed to bring out that side of their personality. Talk to me, Wesker. Who's the voice out there?
Good job, sweetheart.
He was my husband.
He hurt you.
Yes.
He couldn't protect your home. What kind of man was he?
Boss, I think she's awake. The cop, she saw all that.
Well, that won't do, will it? We can't have no witnesses, Giggy.
What the hell happened here? Rickson, and the hostage. She was the only thing keeping the cops from coming into Scarface Towers.
And you weren't here to stop the gap and getting to them Goth and escaping.
Batman? Yeah, right. I'm sorry, Michelle. Your poor husband. Please, get the bodies out of here. Out of my home.
What are you waiting for? Do as the lady says!
An old service stairwell. This could have been useful earlier. You grew up here, didn't you? I can see it in the way you move here. How familiar it is to you. I'm guessing this is how you got around here when you were young. Little Arnold Wesker, a nervous child who didn't want to be noticed. Able to see into people's lives, but not be seen. Shielded by the walls. Later, you developed the Scarface persona, something else to hide behind, that lets you take out your frustrations on the world. After you were released from prison, you came back here, and someone took Scarface from you. The same person who cut out your tongue. Someone who thinks bigger than you. So show me where they've taken the police officer. Oh God. My throat. Hello? Is someone there? Hello? I can't. My voice. Help me. I need help. Hello? Damn it. They moved her. But something happened. Gordon, I think this all went south.
Officer Price?
They've moved her, but where they were keeping her, there's blood residue. A lot of it. Could be from more than one person. Hard to tell. It's been scrubbed.
But it probably means Price is dead.
Damn it. On the slim chance she isn't, she's on borrowed time.
Then there's no more time to be dainty about this. We're coming in!
Wesker, what are you doing? Oh. Your tongue. They packed it in ice after the fact, so the tissue didn't die, so it can be reattached. meaning this is someone who cares about you somehow. Who is she?
What are you all doing? Did you find the Batman yet, like Scarface said to?
We're giving up, Mrs. Rickson. When the cops realize the hostage is dead, there's nothing to stop them coming in. You know what they'll do to us all. What cops always do to people like us.
You can't give up now! They'll demolish our homes! They'll take away the voices of the tower and we'll never hear them again! All the people who lived here, it's like murder!
3 people are dead. Batman's beaten the shite out of us. I wanted to keep my apartment. Now I just want to survive the night.
You think you can betray me, you gums? We're not giving up my Gordy!
Oh, what, Scarface? With Rickson gone, what can you actually do to protect us? To threaten us? You're just a voice. I'm not even certain you're real anymore.
He's real! How dare you! He's real!
Whoa, Michelle. I'm sorry. It's over.
It is, isn't it?
This is the apartment of a married couple, but it isn't decorated the way this kind of man decorates. The furniture is old but well cared for, sentimental, inherited. Her family had owned this apartment for at least 2 generations, so it was hers first. Then he moved in. He took over. Not a kind man, probably a cruel one. He berated her, screamed at her, and you saw and heard it through the walls, didn't you, Arnold? She was someone like you, pushed around, unable to protect herself. You knew Scarface could protect her. You taught her how it worked, the skills of the ventriloquist, and she's talented, probably better than you. You hatched a plan together to prove Scarface was real. The husband probably thought the doll was a prank at first. But you have your ways of being persuasive. That's when Scarface started talking to him. You thought she'd use Scarface to improve her life, to stop that man pushing her around, but she used him to take over the whole building. She used him to hatch a plan against those who take her home away from her. Then, when the first cop died, you begged her to run away with you, to get out of here. At which point, you became the one trying to take her home away. You've unleashed something in this poor woman, and it's out of control. That's it, sweetheart. Remember what the man in the hat promised. How to free the voices of the tower if all else fails. Release them in the smoke.
Smoke! Commissioner, we've got a fire!
Respirators! This just became an evacuation situation, people! There is another fire tonight in Gotham City. The architecture of Bleeding Towers acts like a wind tunnel, whipping the flame through the structure. And within minutes, the complex is a din of yelling and roaring.
Help me! Why won't you help me? The sink, it's loose!
This way.
Take a left! The stairwell!
Officer Price, I've got you. Wesker, no! What are you looking at? Michelle Rickson hasn't been identified among the bodies. Not yet. Fire was never Scarface's MO. Why would she burn the building? Maybe she saw no other way out. Gotham will do that to people. Officer Price.
Recovering. Looks like even Wesker will talk again. For better or worse.
Lucky. We got lucky.
Price said there was a voice. She said a voice led her to you down the twisted hallways of that godforsaken place. She said it was Peterson's voice, her partner's, who's been lying here on this slab since last night. Another ghostly voice of Bleeding Towers, perhaps. Auditory hallucinations are a possible side effect of carbon monoxide inhalation.
Yes, that's all it was. That's all it could have been. Gotham City, I think we need to talk. It's becoming hard not to notice a pattern. You have always suffered fires. A dense population, cold nights, and a high crime rate will do that. But these last months, it feels like your skies have plumed with smoke every night. It was a fire that created the Wound Man. It was a fire that ended the siege of Bleeding Towers. It's beginning to feel like you're trying to burn me out. Like you see the Batman as a fever, one that might be exterminated by raising your temperature. Pareidolia is the name for how we perceive patterns where there are none, seeing faces in the clouds, or the man in the moon. The first thing we have to be able to recognize as infants is other people. The faces of our caregivers to return a smile, to be able to bond and be protected. It means that part of our minds can become overactive. It's led to so many of our myths, our legends and gods. Part of being a detective is being able to see past that pareidolia, to not be fooled by patterns that are not there, to not assign malevolence to nature or coincidence. But tonight, there is another fire in Gotham. And I've had enough. The cops and firefighters stand around, smoking and talking. They drag their heels because the fire is in the Rookery. A neighborhood of old Gotham, half rebuilt with temporary materials decades ago after a minor quake. The city never bothered to go back and fix it properly. The streets here have no names or numbers. Half the buildings have no clean running water or proper electrical wiring. Some are simply constructed by the residents, wherever they feel like. Rooms balanced precariously over alleyways, overlapping, tunneling through. It cannot be navigated by intuition, only by those who know it. I need guidance.
I'm eating a rat. Did you not hear me? I'm eating a rat!
Okay.
I have an astrophysics degree.
The fire. What's the fastest route through?
Schwarzschild cosmology theorizes that the entire observable universe is the inside of a black hole. That's why the universe is expanding. I never subscribed to that theory. Not till I moved into the Rookery, just to get back on my feet. You're in a black hole now. Just follow your feet. The singularity pulls everything to the center in the end. And no.
No.
I see you looking at my rat. Get your own.
This place is as close to hell as any I've encountered in Gotham. Gordon, you need to send a CSI squad into the Rookery. There's a body here. Gordon has to scream at the officers to get them to come collect the cadaver. They get turned around twice on their way into the Rookery, once on their way out. Gordon has them deliver the body directly to Dr. Sarika's laboratory at Gotham U.
Oh, you see this? How the arms are bent inward. We call this the pugilist's stance.
The poor sap was trying to hide their face from the flames.
No, it happens post-mortem in a fire. The tendons in the arm shrivel in the heat, pulling the body into what looks like a boxer's pose.
How long was he in there?
First off, look at the iliac spread of the pelvis. This is a she. And it's almost impossible to tell. Fire isn't as good at erasing the existence of a body as many murderers think it's going to be, but it is very good at erasing forensic evidence. I'm going to need to spend some time with her to pry out her secrets.
Good afternoon, Master Wayne. Your whey isolate with a seasonal greens reduction is served.
You can just say nutritional shake, Alfred.
If you will have me blending up such foul concoctions, you might at least let me lie to myself a little. A successful night.
A frustrating one, Alfred. A murder in the rookery. No leads yet.
I was more asking whether you managed to avoid being either shot or stabbed. You have been bleeding on the sheets again.
A body stuffed in a dryer in a laundromat that was then burned down.
A laundromat? Why does that sound familiar? To the library, Batman. Here we are. I remember perusing this one at some length. You aren't the only one in this mansion with a predisposition to the macabre. I believe it was somewhere around... yes. One of the many gangs to crop up during the interwar period, when young men returned home with weapons training and untreated post-traumatic stress disorder to find the country in the depths of a post-war recession. With a lack of career prospects, many turned to the lucrative criminal underworld, starting their own organizations to intimidate and extort their neighbors. Operating out of the rookery, at the time an up-and-coming Irish neighborhood, the gang used a family-owned laundromat as a front for their criminal dealings. Never reaching the prominence or influence of other Gotham criminal organizations such as the Italian crime families, they are primarily remembered for certain grisly, if unsubstantiated, rumors. One such rumor suggested that those they wished to make an example of would be escorted to the laundromat at night and have their heads dunked into a bucket of laundry bleach until the skin sloughed from the skull. The victim would then be hung up as a warning to others. The appearance of this bloody mess of loosened skin was suggested to be the origin of the gang's moniker, the Red Hood Gang.
The Red Hood Gang? But I've encountered them before.
I believe you may have encountered a modern organization attempting to capitalize on the violent reputation of old Gotham.
Perhaps. But if the original Red Hood Gang has returned to the rookery... No. Pareidolia.
I'm afraid you've lost me, Master Wayne.
I'm trying not to see patterns that aren't there, Alfred. I need evidence. I need to return to the rookery.
Okay, lady. Time to die for Satan. No, not there! No chance!
You stopped running.
You broke my nose!
I don't care. You stopped running, right at the edge of the rookery. Why did you stop?
The rookery's a hell of a lot scarier than you. They're real weird in there.
The Red Hood Gang. Is that who you were afraid of?
What the hell are you talking about?
Gordon, you there?
I'm in the middle of picking up your gift. I did nothing wrong. I only kill for Satan's glory. You realize the headache you cause when you leave them high up like that? I'm guessing you're back in the rookery?
There's nothing here. Nothing at the scene to tell me anything. No patterns in this ash.
I've just come from Sarika's lab. He might have found something. Not much, but he found burns.
The body was in a fire.
No, on the skull, as though the head was exposed to acid. Sarika suspects pre-mortem.
Acid or bleach. I can see you. I can see you watching me. Tell me where they are, and I will rid you of the Red Hood gang. Very well then. The game's afoot.
Batman vigilante spotted in the Rookery neighborhood for the third night running.
Where is the Red Hood gang?
Batman continues to be spotted prowling.
Who killed the woman in the dryer?
Terror of the Rookery. Residents live in fear of encountering the creature of the night who has made their home his own.
It's been almost a week and you've turned up 0 leads in the Rookery.
And Dr. Sarika's turned up 0 leads from the body. I thought you were meant to be good at this.
You have a better understanding of forensic anthropology than that, Batman. You know I can't find what isn't there. The dead speak through their bones, but sometimes they don't have all that much to say.
Batman, is it worth it? Since you've been patrolling just this one neighborhood, there have been 2 other murders.
The Burnside case. You already have the husband in custody. He did it. The Newtown drowning was the business partners. Your detectives will figure that out. No one's even looking at this one but me.
I just mean to say, you're generating panic. The Rookery is a rough enough place to live without you prowling the rooftops. There are other cases worth your time. Equally, there are definitely other cases I could be utilizing Dr. Sarika's talents for.
Gordon, this matters! Every bone, Sarika, with a fine-tooth comb. And if you come up empty, you do it again.
Always a pleasure, Batman. He looks exhausted.
Nikki Harris. These are beginning to irritate me.
Ah, yes, well, you don't call, you don't write. How else is a tabloid hack meant to get your attention?
You've been writing this bilge to get in touch with me. I'm busy, Harris.
I'm worried you've been led astray.
I didn't ask your opinion on my activities.
It's not just the Rookery, it's the company you've been keeping. You're working with Dr. Sarika, correct? The forensic expert who was fired from the Florida body farm?
Fired?
God, don't you know what he did? You might want to hear this, Batman.
Look, here he comes. Where? Up there. Look, behind the chimney. Oh, I see him. See, I told you. This is where he starts every night, where the fire was. That's what it is. That's what's got him obsessed with finding the Red Hood gang. Good luck with that, huh?
The story Nikki Harris told me about Sarika echoes in my head. It's disturbing, but something to deal with later. It is frustrating to admit the crime scene remains as unforthcoming as the body. The ground is tarmac. It reveals nothing by way of footprints. The structure of the laundrette was old and primarily wooden. It required no excess accelerant to begin a fire here, just a match or a lighter. Nothing that can be traced. Any DNA or fingerprints were lost to the blaze.
Oh shit! I think he sees us! Run!
Someone in the Rookery knows who did this. Who is trying to evoke the myth of the Red Hood gang who once resided here. The Rookery does not want me here. That has been made evident. Too bad. This is still Gotham, my city. I will drag her truths, kicking and screaming, into the light. Wait. A grave. Fresh. Less than 200 meters from the site of the fire. Perhaps another victim. Perhaps an unburned body, rich in forensic evidence. It would be quicker to find something to dig with, but that would mean pausing. So I ignore the screaming in my forearms, and I plunge downward, pulling up cold fistfuls of recently disturbed earth, until my hands hit cold metal. The box is old, but that doesn't mean what's inside it is. The perfect size for a body. I told you, Gotham. I told you. Damn it! Damn it. By the sound of the gun, it's a .30 caliber rifle. It is fired from above me, 140 degrees east, from approximately 300 meters away. This is good, as it means I can pinpoint the shooter as being located in one of only 4 windows that aren't boarded up. It suggests the M1 Garand, once a common service weapon for military men, now fallen out of favor. Therefore, by the time I hear the shot, I have begun to build a profile of the shooter in my head. Unfortunately, even a small caliber bullet fired from an old, poorly serviced rifle moves faster than sound, which means by the time I hear the shot, said bullet is lodged in my back. Sloppy shooter. You should have run.
Those days are a bit behind me. Why couldn't you have just gone away? I'm almost dead, lungs packed in, heart's almost done too. Why couldn't you have just let me do this for them, for the Rookery?
You were one of them, back in the day, weren't you? The Red Hood gang. And now you're dying, but some poor woman had to die first because you didn't want your legacy of thuggery to be forgotten. Pathetic.
She was my sweetheart, but she was stepping out with a cop. We did it at noon, buried her out there in the garden, broad daylight. Everyone knew, and everyone knew to say nothing. That was the point. Everyone knew not to speak about the Red Hood gang. We demanded respect, and in return, we settled any disputes in the Rookery, so everyone knew to treat each other with respect. Look at it all. Now I'm the only one left. So I dug her up. Yeah, she wasn't doing anyone no good down there in the dirt. I figured if people thought the Hoods were back, they might be nicer to each other just in case. Then you came along. You came along and you won't leave. I've been in the Rookery a long, long time. I've heard every rumor, every myth that's grown from this place. But you're trying to pull it all apart, trying to erase it all. That's why I shot you. That's why you're bleeding out now.
I'm
You should have just gone away.
The rookery doesn't need you. It knows what it is. It knows how to look after itself. And without you here, it'll remember all the better.
It's the smell of the bleach that wakes me. Though I'm now conscious, I find my limbs have all but stopped working. A numbness flows down my arms and my legs, originating from the bullet lodged in my back. It missed the spine. I'm reasonably sure it's embedded in one of my floating ribs. But it hurts, and the simple truth is, I'm out of gas. All this time patrolling the streets of the rookery, night after night. Perhaps I convinced myself I was more than flesh and blood. Stupid, magical thinking. This is all magical thinking.
What?
You idiots! You dug up an old murder victim, stripped the skin from her skull with bleach, the execution style of the old Red Hood gang, trying to convince the neighborhood they've returned. When the truth is, no one in this neighborhood has thought about the Red Hood gang in decades.
That's why we're going to remind them. The body we left in the dryer, that old girlfriend of mine we dug back up, it was a start. But when the second body given the Red Hood treatment is the Batman, the rookery was an awful place when I grew up. But then we were conscripted. When we returned, we knew how to shoot, and we knew what fear was, how to instill respect. Before I shuffle off this coil, I'm going to remind them.
No one noticed. You left the body in a dryer. Then you waited for someone to find it. You waited and you waited. But no one ever noticed. Not here in the rookery. So you went back. You went back and burned the laundromat down. A signal flare, so someone would investigate. Even then, I was the only one who showed up. What's another fire in Gotham in this day and age?
You're wrong. The rookery is talking about them. Us.
Grandpa, your oxygen. You need your oxygen.
Grandpa. This is a family thing. You raised them on stories of the gang. Fish stories. Exaggerations of what you and your friends used to get up to. When the truth is, the original Red Hoods were petty criminals. Nothing special. Nothing memorable. Especially for Gotham. The only reason no one in the neighborhood would give you up is they have no idea who you are or what you've done. You're nothing but an old corpse defiler. You... you...
Grandpa! Here, you need to sit. Jake, go downstairs. What? We need a lookout, in case anyone comes.
That's bull-do, as your brother says, Jakey. Good boy.
Good move. He's a sensitive kid, isn't he? And what you're about to try and do, it's not easy to watch. The woman you dug up had been down in the dirt for decades. Tell me, Grandpa, what was her name? Part of the process of decay is autolysis. Enzymes inside the body's cells begin eating through their own cell walls, letting the liquid inside leak out. The liquid gets between the skin's layers, loosens them, allows the skin to slough off easily. That's why you were so easily able to bleach the skin off the corpse's head. It just peels away. Living tissue is a different matter altogether. Living tissue blisters when exposed to a base, and then it saponifies. Fat literally turns to soap.
Stop talking!
And then...
Stop!
Why? Squeamish. You didn't remove my cow. Didn't want to think you were doing this to a real person, did you?
Oh, yeah?
You're not hardened criminals, just a scared old man and his grandsons, terrified of mortality, trying to leave a mark however you can. What was her name, Grandpa? You don't even know. Because you were never in the Red Hood gang.
What? What? That's ridiculous. Of course I...
Just as you were never in the military. The heyday of the Red Hoods was more than 70 years ago. You're old, but not old enough to have run with them. And that gun is military issue. But all that rust... You'll never meet an old soldier, one who still dreams about the good old days, who'd let their weapon fall to that level of disrepair. Whose was it? An old drinking buddy's? Or did you just find it, exploring these abandoned blocks?
He's full of it, isn't he, Grandpa? Just trying to save his own skin? Grandpa, it's okay. We knew. We liked the stories anyway. I'll take care of this. I can handle it.
No, it's mine to do. This is on me.
Grandpa, let go! Just let...
Sam!
Hey, stay with me. Shallow breaths. Stay conscious. Stay with me.
I just saw him out the window. I watched him bury her down there. I didn't do anything. No one did. I was only 12. I was 12. I thought I could do something good. Thought I could make it a little better. How could no good come from all?
I could have saved them. At least one or the other. I could apply CPR. I have adrenaline syringes in my belt. But it's another 10 minutes before I can feel my limbs again. Takes me another 2 to get my hands free. Too long for either of them.
I heard a shot.
Don't go inside. Wait for the police.
The police? In the rookery? Yeah, right.
I'll make sure of it. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have come here. Alfred.
Master Bruce, what happened?
The Red Hood gang was never back. It was just some old man trying to make it look like they were. He thought if the people of the rookery believed, the gang lurked around every corner, watching. They might treat each other better. They might stop hurting each other. All those nights patrolling the rookery, terrorizing the neighborhood. I achieved nothing. I brought nothing but harm. Only pain. Pareidolia, seeing faces or figures where they don't exist, a quirk of evolution. As infants, we have to be able to recognize the faces of our caregivers, to form a bond. But as we grow, we also have to pick out hostiles, enemy tribe members in the tree line. We had to pick up on the slightest hint of a figure lurking in the dark, so we could flee if we were being hunted. Safer to flee, just in case.
The city of Gotham was born in flame. When the Dutchmen landed here in 1626, they lit a fire against the dark and the beasts of the night. But the dry brush of the forest caught alight, burning ferociously and forcing them to flee. When they returned, they found the forest gone and ample space to settle upon. The potassium and calcium-rich ash made the ground fertile for their crops, and Gotham prospered. It is foolish, then, to live in Gotham and fear fire. I see now how it is not a tool, but the source of all creation. It is us, and we are it. And so, when we have lost our way, we must return to it. It will lead us like a child by the hand to a better tomorrow.
They keep lighting it, but he's clearly gone. And a good thing, too. The last thing this city needs is another,
My God, I'm calling 911. Stay away from it, darling.
There's someone moving in there. Someone...
Oh, Master Bruce, what have I told you? You've been tossing and turning again. You've torn your stitches. Why do I bother? Just another night as the Batman's faithful butler. This is sleep, isn't it, Master Bruce? Only, it's been a few nights now since you came home with that bullet in your back. And this fever... You foolish old man, Pennyworth. Why did you let the boy push himself so hard?
Sometimes you can't see it for the ash in the air. Tell me, Dayton, have you seen the fires up close? Would you describe the shape and the color of the flames?
Officer Dayton won't be working this block anymore, Mr. Linz. Though he may be joining you here in Blackgate Penitentiary after his trial.
Commissioner Gordon, what a pleasure.
We found the correspondence he was smuggling in for you. Makes for some very interesting reading. Dear Firefly. A load of crap in here about Prometheus, about some made-up history of Gotham. Is this stuff you've been filling someone's head with?
My pen pal's taken the next step. These are his flames we're looking at, aren't they? His spree.
Just tell us who it is, Linz, and we can talk about not extending your sentence for conspiracy, not to mention smuggling of contraband.
There's something wrong with my brain. They say I can't process long-term consequences. I need instant gratification. And there's only one thing I want.
You're a pyromaniac. No one's bringing you a naked flame.
You will. You're desperate enough to turn to me for help now that the Batman is gone. No wonder, when what you're trying to fight isn't a person, but an inevitability. The fire is how the city grows and changes. It's already been kindled, already begun its work, burning out the impurities.
Your new pathologist friend, Dr. Salika, worked at a body farm down in Florida. An outdoor research facility for studying the decomposition of human corpses under different conditions. Dozens of bodies donated, stripped of their dignity in the name of progress, and in the name of solving crimes. Bodies left in the trunks of cars, submerged in ponds, buried, unburied, their decay scrutinized and recorded. Harrowing work by all accounts. It's hard to blame someone for turning to certain substances to cope with it all. Though personally, I might not have chosen anything with hallucinogenic properties in that environment.
Apparently, your friend Sarika was alone in the field one night, unearthing a body when it began to speak to him. It told him it could feel everything that was being done to it. It begged him for help. And Dr. Sarika obliged. No thanks, Lieutenant Bullock. I'm sure you could make Firefly see sparks, but Linz is making out like he knows more than he does. The letters were anonymous, dead dropped to Officer Dayton. I just wanted to look him in the eye, help build a profile of the kind of animal who'd do this. Stay by Mrs. Cabrera's hospital bed. See if she comes around enough to talk about anything except the child's face in the flames. I'm heading into the pathology lab now, hoping Dr. Sarika might be able to shed a little more light on things from studying her husband's body. Sarika? Oh, come on! Ah! Ugh! Ugh! Come back here! Come back here, you! Ah! He was in there, but he ran! We'll get him. How did you know? I didn't. I came for Sarika. Sarika? Where is the doctor? The journalist Nikki Harris told me Dr. Sarika fled the body farm in Florida after half of it burned down on his watch. A student died in the blaze. Then he came here, started working with us. You were so grateful for the assistance, you never questioned why he left. Never looked too closely at his references. It was left to Harris to uncover the story. Call the fire department. I'm going to find him. Batman, slow down. You look worse than I do. What happened to you? Where have you been? My city has been burning up, Commissioner. But this fever, it's about to break.
There were two great fires of Gotham. One in the 18th century during the Revolutionary War. The second during the 19th century. A fifth of the city burned to the ground. Its rebuilding is what shaped the city into what it is today. But the third great fire of Gotham, that's just beginning. Dr. Sarika, my name is Nikki Harris. With my help, you'll draw the bat to the heart of its flame. And when he burns, he'll become so much more than flesh and blood.
I hate this. You gotta hope the commissioner knows what he's doing. But I hate this.
God, I've missed that smell. There were people in the fire, weren't there? At least two of them. You can still smell the cracklings.
Linz, enough!
You wanted my professional opinion on a scene, Commissioner Gordon. I am telling you what I make of it.
Cut the ghoulish crap, Firefly! Talk to me about ignition source, about what the intent was here. I need to know who this arsonist, this child of fire actually is.
You need to build a profile, so you come to your favorite firebug for help. I already told you, I'm flattered. I'll admit, I'm curious myself. Those letters the child wrote to me in prison, so wonderfully prosaic. He's somebody who understands.
Understands what?
You already have a suspect in mind, don't you? But it's someone you don't want it to be. Fire can be so many things. He said 2 last night, if I've heard correctly. But you can discount the second, the one at the pathology lab. It wasn't important.
Wasn't important? I almost died!
Yes, it was only intended to kill you. Fire used as a tool. This was so much more. Do you understand where we are? This is the oldest corner of Gotham. This is where the first fire of Gotham raged, that flattened the forest and allowed the city to grow in its stead. Oh, lighting a new one here. That's ritual. Your child of fire seeks to build something or destroy it. The Batman must have figured that out if he's still fluttering around. I do wonder why you're asking me rather than him.
Master Wayne, you are not well. It's Dr. Sarika, Alfred. The cases he had a hand in. Pretended to assist me and Gordon. He must have been involved in the fire somehow. You need rest, food, and probably a copious volume of drugs. The fire at Scarface Towers, the fire in the Rookery. Their locations correspond to those of historic fires, blazes that led to social or structural reform. Master Wayne, he's replicating fires that sculpted the city. Master Wayne, if I can treat Gotham as a body, pay attention to its wound patterns and scars, I can— Bruce! I thought I was going to lose you. I thought you weren't going to wake up. I'm almost through with this, Alfred. I've almost solved it. Bully for you. You were shot in the back. The wound is infected. Your body is still fighting it. I am not telling you to stop treating this godforsaken city. I gave up on that long ago. But I am telling you that if you do not treat your body, Bruce Wayne will die. And then how will you go chasing down this Dr. Sarika? I don't know what you want from me. I don't even know you. Well, that sure hurts, Dr. Sarika. I know you very well. I'm Nikki Harris. I'm your opposite, see? We have similarities, of course. We're both truth seekers. You, the forensic pathologist, picking through the bones of the deceased. Desecrating the dead, turning people into objects, whereas I deal in myth. I understand the psyche of the city, and there's so much more truth there than in your dull world. You're a journalist? I don't understand. Well, it's like this. You and I, being two sides of the same coin, I think we've really wanted the same thing. We've both seen the horrendous pit Gotham has become, and sought to save it in our own way. And that's led us both to the Batman. I've been doing my best. I really have. Steering him here and there, assisting with tidbits of knowledge where I can. But for the most part, my role's been weaving him into the city's story. He's an idea. One that fits seamlessly into the recesses of the city's mind. He could have turned things around, I think. Just the concept of him. But you've been tearing it all down. I've only assisted him on cases. Detective work. Gotham dreamed him up because it needed him. And you tore him down to earth, turning him into nothing but a damn policeman. Flesh and bone sitting around in a lab, sweating through spandex and staring through microscopes. If the city comes to see him this way, it will have been for nothing. I don't blame you, you know. But we can't coexist. One of us has to eat the other.
Say "aw." I'm not a child, Alfred. No, you are very big, scary Batman, Master Bruce. Ah. Take this. It'll help you sleep. The good news is your fever is cresting. By tomorrow, you should be on the road to recovery. He's out there now, plotting his next attack. He's out there with the entire Gotham Police Department looking for him, and the fire department on standby. I think we'll be reading the Gotham Post's account of his arrest in the morning. Honestly, this whole Child of Fire thing already sounds like a Nikki Harris headline.
You're right. Lord Alfred, you're right!
Of course I am. Master Bruce! Master Bruce!
The child feels the noose tightening around him. He knows he can't keep this up indefinitely. He's replicating the fires of Gotham. It's a form of ritual. So he'll skip to the big one, the one that changed the entire face of the city. The Great Fire of Gotham. One morning in December 1835, the people of Gotham were woken by the light of dawn to find it was not dawn at all. It was 3 a.m., and the city was ablaze. It had been an era of grand expansion. The population had swelled by a factor of 10 over the previous century. With the onset of the Industrial Revolution, it had almost doubled in the prior decade. The people of Gotham lived on top of each other, folded together in one of the densest populations on Earth. Gordon, do you copy? The city's infrastructure had not kept up with this expansion. Water was often a problem. Indoor plumbing would not become commonplace until the early 1900s. Wells were still utilized, a scattering of access points throughout the neighborhoods. And despite the population boom, the Gotham Fire Department had barely grown. Less than 300 new firefighters was deemed adequate. The city didn't wish to spend any more money. Batman, where have you been? At first, people woke each other to watch the flames. Fire was a source of terror, but also a spectacle. Almost incomprehensible in its ability to inspire awe. But as the hours wore on and the flames spread, they woke each other to flee. The summer had been dry. Most of the city was still made of wood. The winds were howling. It's the Great Fire of Gotham, Gordon. What, as in the 19th century? No, the Great Fire is happening right now. I can hear the people screaming. I think it's inside me. Where are you? The fire accelerated rather than slowed as it reached the river. Every inch of real estate near the docks was utilized for commerce, a neighborhood stuffed with goods for trade. Linens, bitumen, oils, all fuel for the flames. As the blaze refused to die down, a detachment of U.S. Marines attempted to create a fire break, removing buildings in the fire's path with demolition charges. Batman! Damn it! Literacy levels were still low in 1835. Your average citizen did not navigate the city by street name, but by landmark. They knew the city visually, and before their eyes, it vanished. Everything they knew of Gotham, their entire way of understanding the city, swallowed by smoke and flame. When it was rebuilt, it would have seemed to them a different place entirely, all except for the place where the fire originated. That was rebuilt fastidiously, an act of defiance against the ruinous might of nature, a show of power. For the Great Fire of Gotham originated in the financial district.
Can I help you, sir?
No, thank you.
Sir, what's in the bag?
A simple, homemade incendiary device.
My God!
It's funny when you think about it, how easy fire is for any of us to access.
Get it out of here!
You can try, but what are you going to do about the 2 others on the outside of the building? All right, Sarika. I've always prided myself on being a fair man. So we're going to let the fire decide. In whose image is the city to continue? The child of fire to lead us into the future? Or the old corpse of Gotham? We need to turn around! We need to head toward the flames!
Are you sure that's a good idea, Commissioner Gordon? Taking a pyromaniac like Firefly toward a fire?
Do it! He's chained up, Bullock, and I think something's wrong with the Batman. He doesn't sound well. I think he's going to walk right into the flames. Here we are again, in the great fire that reshapes Gotham. Me, Nikita Harris, the child of fire. You, Dr. Sarika, the old bones of the city. Are you quite comfortable in there, Dr. Sarika? The suit is the same as mine. The insulation is quite incredible, isn't it? Just breathe normally. Let the air filter in the mask do its job. This doesn't need to be uncivil, does it? We just need to wait and see which one of us it consumes first. Though it looks like you're already struggling.
It's not too late, Harris. Take us out of here. You're a journalist, for God's sake. How did you come to this?
Through journalism, of course. I'm very good at my job, you know. I followed a lead to one heck of a scandal out in a town called Greenfields. You remember that, of course. It was me who picked through the ashes of Dr. Hartnell's home, sifted through the charred bones to find what had happened. When the powers that be buried it, and my career along with it, I pointed Batman in the right direction to find me. The Wound Man. What? You think Batman was solving all these cases himself? I've been there the whole time! I was there in Bleeding Towers. I interviewed Michelle Rickson at the beginning of the siege. The people of Scarface Towers didn't trust the cops or Batman, but they knew I was one of them. Just another working guy stiffed by the system. I put the idea in her head, I think, when I told her about Hartnell. A light went on behind her eyes when I told her how fire had remade him. I don't know if I expected her to do it, but it did warm my heart when she burned the tower to the ground rather than let the cops take it. What are you looking at? Fire is a magical thing. It lights up our lizard brain like nothing else. Cuts right to the core of us. Flee! 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 It plays tricks on us. Makes us see things that aren't there. The Batman's gone, Sarika. No one's coming. No one's coming.
That's what the old man said when he called me from the rookery about the corpse in the laundromat. I didn't want to bring another case to the Batman. I didn't want him to become suspicious, so I didn't tell him anything at all. And yet, next thing you know, there's a fire in the rookery, and Batman's haunting the neighborhood. He'd burned the corpse to create a beacon, to draw Batman like a moth. That's what confirmed it for me. The fire of Gotham has a mind of its own. That's what happens when a fire builds enough. It begins to create its own convection currents, no longer dependent on the wind to carry it. It moves as it pleases. That's what separates this fire from the others. I figured out how to help it along. I've set firebombs in just the right places across the city to let it grow and grow. Like London in 1666, Dresden in the war, Hiroshima. Tonight, Gotham gets its own firestorm. Oh, Doctor, you're fading. Thus begins an age of myth. It's almost like he's here. Almost like I could reach out and...
You might have gotten away with it, but you took it too far, Nicky. Turned it all into a sensationalist headline. Put your byline on it.
How are you here? How are you standing here in this?
Nicky Harris isn't trained for combat at all. Even with fever in my bones. Even with smoke in my lungs. It was never going to be a fight. Damn it.
Batman, there are more firebombs. He's trying to start a firestorm.
Commissioner Gordon. Still with us, are you?
Firefly! Do your worst, Linz, you ass!
Oh, I'm not going to hurt you, Gordon. I would never take that choice from the fire. Farewell, Commissioner. Thanks for the flame.
The truth is, I don't remember much of it at all. I was sick with fever. I had inhaled a lot of smoke. Harris was right about one thing. Fire does set the lizard brain alight. The prefrontal cortex, dedicated to logic. The hippocampus, dedicated to memory formation. All given over to terror, to escape. That's what saved me, I suspect. The same hysterical strength that allowed me to walk through fire. The body overriding the brain. Those witnesses were suffering from the same hysteria when they gave the statements they did. Yes, but they said I was disarming Harris's firebombs. Nothing more. I had to get out ahead of the flames before they could get hot enough to truly transform into a firestorm. They said you were ahead of it, that it was right at your heels. And then you turned. And that was the moment the flames began to decay. Like I said, Gordon, hysteria.
Fire does often live and die on its own terms. We hope for a predictable pattern, but there are thousands of factors: fuel quality, wind, exterior temperature. We hope to understand after the fact,
but it's rare we truly do. There was a fire back in Florida when I worked at the body farm. A body combusted. I don't want to say spontaneously. I'm a man of science. Humans don't spontaneously combust. Except for the half a dozen cases that have gone entirely unexplained since the 50s, of course. There were already rumors about my professionalism, and I knew they were looking for someone to pin it on. It's what led me back to Gotham.
Yes, well, you handled yourself reasonably last night, Dr. Sarika.
What does that mean?
I think it was a compliment, Doctor.
That is not a well man.
Sometimes he doesn't seem like a man at all. Lord, what a night! And now Harris and Firefly are out there, both in Gotham.
A thing about fires and confined spaces. Perhaps they merge, forming one blaze, but often they end up fighting for the same oxygen. If that's the case, there's a good chance they smother each other out.
There will be a fire tonight in Gotham City. A fire can destroy, or it can protect. It will blaze, sculpting the city the way it always has. It's been a little wild of late, but that's because it's been adapting, taking on a new form, accepting a new shape. There will be a fire tonight in Gotham City. There always has been.